Even while we are starting, so we would like to welcome you all, and we are going to take your questions at end of the sessions. But what you can do that you can write down your questions in the chat section. And yes, now since I'm sharing the screen, so I wouldn't be able to see the chat window. But Vishan Elias, my colleague, he can help me out. Vishan, would you like to introduce yourself before I start proceeding my session?
I mean, it's okay. We can give introduction at the end. So let's keep the subject.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Perfect. So yes, before I will start my introduction, I would like to talk about my identity, and that is what I take pride in. I'm a Pakistani national, and it's all about that. We all love our country, and it's all about to love all the countries as well. And whenever recently I got the opportunity to represent Pakistan internationally, and what moment I would like to share before getting into the details of the session, that when I put the badge of Pakistan flag on my dress, so that feeling was matchless. And I think I cannot put it in words, but that was the moment which gave me the confidence and this pride feeling. It was so nice feeling there. And now I can talk about myself as well. So as you all know, my name is Madiha Khan Yusufzai, and my life is all about living the 4 Ps, and which is basically project management is my passion, and I started as my passion, and I worked a long time to turn it into my profession as well. And now, since I have been here in this market in professional life for last 10 years, so I feel that yes, it's quite a learning journey, and I can share my learning as well with others. So that is why I love to promote it as well. And because the knowledge sharing is like it continues till we all are alive and we are breathing. So, and it is always two-way, because it's not about that, all right, we are just teaching someone or we are giving some knowledge to someone, but we are also learning and getting the knowledge from them as well. And when I talk about promotion, so as I earlier mentioned that I'm part of Pakistan Agile Scrum Exchange. So yes, I'm part of this Agile community, and basically our goal is to promote agility and to foster the knowledge-based culture in our society, and especially in Pakistan, and also to basically expand this knowledge to others. And now I would like to take a pause here. Ishan, can you take care of this participants' noise, background noise?
Yes, done.
Okay, done. Thank you. And yes, so, and I would like to talk about my qualifications, which I feel humble about them, definitely. And I'm basically aspiring to become Agile coach, but right now I'm I'm a project management trainer and consultant. I'm a certified Scrum Master as well. And I have worked in different sectors, and overall, as I told you, that I'm having 10 years of work experience. I've worked in Pakistan and also got the opportunity to work in Norway. So basically Scandinavian culture I'm aware of. And these days I'm working with a US client as well. So it's like, taking the exposure, and it is going so well. And again, it's like, the exposure is quite good, alhamdulillah. And today I'm going to talk about basically the topic of my talk. It is Agile Mindset. Yes, no, or not yet. And okay. Sorry, everyone, I would be pausing every time and I would be hearing some background noise, because I do not want that the key part of the session is being missed out. So sorry about that. But again, this is like, we can control it as soon as the member joins, and we can put them on mute. Thank you. So yes, the topic of my talk is Agile Mindset, yes, no, or not yet. And basically, there are certain reasons that why I took this topic. So before even getting into those reasons, what I'm going to talk about here in this topic is that how Agile Mindset resonates with growth mindset, and why it is essential to have a growth mindset and an Agile mindset to embrace agility. And now I can relate it with the reasons that, as we all know that, all right, agile is not new to us. We all are familiar. That is what I assume. But I'm still going to talk about, all right, what is agility and what is this concept. I'll just have a quick recap on that so that we all can feel engaged about that. And yes, so there are multiple organizations who have already matured the agile culture. There are some organizations who are right now transforming themselves into living the agile culture. And of course, when it comes to the transformation, so there are the challenges being faced, and that is definitely understandable. And still, there are some organizations who are still thinking if they should go for agile way of work or not, or they should still follow the traditional way of work. So this is the one reason, and the other reason is basically very close to my heart, and it is my own personal experience, because even 7 years back I started my main project management role into traditional mindset, and it has been traditional culture, and then I basically switched to agile way of work. And for me, this transformation has been quite smooth. And I feel the reason was because I was already having agile mindset. And even before, when this term was not coined overall. So it's all about that, how we can relate it with our experiences. And yes, now when we are talking about what is agile mindset, I will walk you through through the learning objectives, that what we are going to learn out of this talk. So we are going to see what is agile mindset, why agile mindset is considered as growth mindset. And as you saw, the topic of my topic is agile mindset, yes, no, or not yet. So we are going to see what is the power of yet here, and how it basically helps in having a growth mindset. We will also see what are the characteristics which make a mindset as an agile mindset. And we can see what are the benefits, since I'm going to talk about it or promote it. So I will also cover the benefits as well. And then we can talk about that, how we can foster the agile culture across the organization. So because it's not about that we just go for agile culture and we start living it, but first of all, we all should have that agile mindset as well, and only then as a person and as an representative to an organization, we can ensure that the agile culture is being adopted and being sustained as well. Okay, I'm sorry, my device is a bit stuck, so just bear with me for that. All right, thank you. So yes, when we are talking about growth mindset, so that means it is very essential that I talk about Professor Carol Dweck, because she is the one who basically introduced this concept of growth mindset while she compared it with the fixed mindset. And here is a very interesting story, which I will be covering in a while. So when we are talking about this, so growth mindset in Agile is basically we believe in that in Agile, it's, overall the mindset should be a growth mindset. So that's why I'm going to use this term. Growth mindset is the same as Agile mindset. So right now, whenever I'm going to talk about a head for Agile mindset, that means I'm talking about growth mindset. And regarding Professor Carol Dweck, as I earlier told, that she's a professor of psychology, and she is basically teaching at Stanford University for many years. And she is also the one who basically termed this concept of power of yet. And it was in one of her very famous TED Talks where she talked about it. And yes, I can share the background of this as well before proceeding further. That what Carol Dweck basically focused, that she found out there is one university in Chicago, and where basically the students are given a very different grading. So either if they are taking certain courses in their classes, so they will be scored as pass. But if they are not qualifying that criteria, so they will not be marked as failed, but rather they will be marked as not yet. So like what is the beauty here is that this not yet what makes you that all right, still you have the margin and basically opportunity to improve yourself and to reach to that level where you can pass this exam or you can have this grading of passing the class. I'm going to further talk about it, this power of yet as well in my upcoming slides. All right, so all of you can see two statements right now on the screen. So first statement says that no, you cannot solve this mathematics problem. And the other statement says, no, you cannot solve this mathematics question yet. So yeah, I'm just keeping it very simple that I'm just taking mathematics example, and we all can refer back to our schooling or education life where there were always some subjects which we used to find very difficult, and sometimes we used to give up on them, or maybe sometimes we used to improve them. So, so we can see that what are the mindsets behind both of these two statements, where like, you know, if I'm the person here in this given scenario, so maybe if I'm into some problem, and we can relate it not only with our school life or education life, but we can relate it with our work, we can relate it with our overall personality and life as well. Because again, back to the growth mindset by Professor Carol Dweck, there is a book about it which I'll talk later, and that she basically mentioned that we need growth mindset in every like aspect of our life. So right now we can be like, you know, back on this statement as well. So maybe even you people can relate it, that there are certain situations in your life and where you see that all right, either you are going to solve it, or either you will just decide that all right, it cannot be solved because I'm not having certain skills, talent, or knowledge. And maybe like even I believe that all right, this is certain skill set I'm having and I cannot grow further beyond that certain level. So we can see that what are the mindsets, and why I'm taking time on this slide, so that all of you can think about it as well, that what were the certain situations in your life where either you are practicing hard to make it better, or you are just like, you know, making it that all right, it's done and that is it. So yes, and if we compare both of these two statements, so we can relate what are the hallmarks behind these statements and what mindset works behind them. So as referring to statement one, where like I say that all right, I cannot solve this problem. So that means it is a fixed mindset, because where here I believe that all right, I'm not having certain skills, or maybe I'm having certain skills to one level, but I cannot go to another level to basically solve this question or solve this problem. But maybe there is another mindset which is working, where I see a better picture that all right, I cannot solve this problem as of yet. So here, as of yet, is like, you know, a very positive notion overall, which will make me motivated that all right, I can still try harder again, and maybe I can see if there is any chance of improvement as well. So if like, you know, we think that all right, we cannot solve this problem yet, so that means we can see that what is the power of in this one word, and which can define our life and which can improve and which can make us a happier person as well, and we can feel more accomplished, because if we are trying harder, if we are practicing more to achieve something, or to achieve some level, then we can see that all right, we had certain skills, but we were able to improve them. And here I would like to add one disclaimer overall, that you know, we are not focusing on that we can be perfect. It's not that. It's all about that you can be a better version every day, or and yes, it is always room for improvement for everyone. So if you all believe that you can improve, so that is the power of yet here, which works behind our mindsets overall. I will not go into the sciences that how does the brain work, but yes, it is there that if we are having this growth mindset, then we respond differently to the situations. And if we are having fixed mindset, then we respond differently. So now I will be talking about that. What are the certain traits which make one mindset as agile mindset? So as we were basically seeing that if there is certain situation, so a person is just like settling it down as it is, but the other person is going to try. So if we can relate it with our real life challenges as well, so it is all about that. Agile mindset is basically always up to embrace the changes. And because we all know that change is only constant, and especially the domain in which we are, it is definitely inevitable that the change is always the constant. It's us who has to who should be keep basically having a track with that changes, and we should keep updating our knowledge as well. And again, yes, as I was talking earlier, that I'll talk about overall what is agility concept. So agility is basically, by definition, it means the ability to respond quickly to a change. So you can see that if the change is there and we can embrace it, so that is basically a trait of agile mindset. It is one of the characteristics. And it is not only about change, maybe the change can be the easy one as well. So if it is the tough one, so it is challenging. And then it is agile mindset, which is also willing to embrace the challenges as well, not only the changes. And why is it so? Because agile mindset, a person who is having agile mindset, he wants to try that, all right, what is his skills level, and can he establish more, or can he improve more? So that is what agile mindset does. And yes, like whenever we are going through some challenge, or we are having a change, so it's all about that. Definitely somewhere, to some extent, we are taking some risk. And sometimes we all know what is the risk we are taking. But then this is the agile mindset, which gives you the confidence that you take informed risk. Here I would be definitely focusing on that it's not about taking any risk which can cause you basically any loss of money, time, or any certain valuable thing for you. So it's all about that you take an informed risk where you know that, all right, what is the thing you are putting on stake, and if it is gone, so what will be the value after that, or what will be the loss? And God forbid that there should be any loss, but since we are into this business, so definitely there are risks as well, and we all should always be careful about it. But still, there are some people who are always willing to take the risk. And why is it so? Because they are having agile mindset. And yes, sometimes whenever we are taking risk, or we are going through a change, so it is not necessary that maybe we will be successful. Maybe we can fail as well. And and sometimes if there is a failure, it is going to upset every human being in a normal scenario. But it's all about that, how do you embrace that failure, and how do you see that failure as well? So either you are seeing that failure as a lesson learned and as the opportunity to grow, basically, or otherwise you are simply being demotivated. And sorry, there is some noise again. Is it taken care of, Zishan? I think not yet.
Yes, carry on.
All right, okay. We are sorry to our other 11 participants. There is some some person joined, and right now I cannot see that, but that's really all right. So okay, I can continue my session. So yes, I was talking about the failures, that how do we see failures as well, because sometimes we are not ready to go for a change because we have fear somewhere internally. It is back in our mind that maybe what if this change will not happen as we expected, and what if the results are not as desired. But if overall you see that yes, it was a lesson learned. And now here, these terms, lesson learned and everything, you would have basically listened within different agile way of working. I'm not going to specify any one of them, but what I'm trying to do, that I'm trying to relate it as well with all of our work we all have been doing. And since even I'm having the same background to work in information technology sector, so I hope you all can relate it as well. That all right, what is the agile mindset and how do we see the failures? And yes, it's not only about the failures, it's also about the mistakes as well. And definitely, if there are certain codes that unless you make a mistake, that means you are not learning otherwise. So yes, mistakes are also serve us opportunity to improve our existing abilities as well, and what is our existing knowledge level and what is our skill level. So it's the agile mindset which is embracing failures and mistakes, which is ready to take risks, and it is also the one which is ready to embrace changes and challenges. And now there is a certain beauty about agile mindset, that maybe some of you people will be thinking that all right, we are not having, maybe we are not having growth mindset, maybe we think traditional way, or maybe we think we are having a fixed mindset, so now what we should do. So the good news is here that you can develop a growth mindset or agile mindset at any point of time in your life. And again, you can also you can believe in basically cultivating and fostering your intelligence level, your skill level, and again to a certain level. And we are not here for focusing about the perfection of anything. It's all about the progress. And now, since we have spoke what makes one mindset as agile mindset, so we can also see that what are the benefits. Since I'm talking about this, so I feel responsible that I should also talk about that what are basically key advantages to have agile mindset. So as we were earlier talking about, and you all can relate it, what I have just spoken about the characteristics, that when we are embracing changes and challenges, and we are taking the risk, so somehow it makes us creative, because we are willing, the people who are having agile mindset, they are willing to try new things, and then they can find how creative they are in terms of their ideas. And when they are taking risk, so they can see if that idea worked well as well. And it gives them basically confidence to be more creative and to try new things as well. And when it comes to try new things, so one benefit of agile mindset is that it brings you to innovation in your work as well, and overall in any aspect of your life. And yes, as I mentioned, that agile mindset is always willing to take risk, but the informed risk. And they do not see the failures as a demotivating factor, but they see as lesson learned and an area for growth. So when it is there, and you can always bounce back after having any failure or after making any mistake. So it makes you resilient as well. So this is very important, and we can see that again, how we can relate it with our way of work, that we become resilient every time we are improving, we are making changes in our work, and we are improving our processes as well, because it's every day a learning, and we can see what is working well and what didn't work well. So when you are creative, you have this opportunity to be innovative, and you become resilient. So eventually, when you are practicing again and again, so there will be persistency in your work as well. And it's all about that. The progress is consistent. And when everything is in place, it looks quite appealing as well. So eventually, this is going to lead to improve the performance and make an impact. And the person who is having agile mindset and living it, he will eventually be performing very well, a superior performance comparing to his own previous performance as well. because we all should work to be a better version of our own self rather like comparing us with anyone else. It's all about that every day we should be a better version. I know I have like basically talked about it 3 times almost in my talk right now, but if like it's all about whatever we are thinking, we are talking, and we are living that thing, so then it will be there in your life and you will feel the difference. And when everything is all well, so eventually it will lead to our own well-being as well. If we are performing well, our work is going fine, and we are happy about that, our customers are happy, and our management is happy as well. So overall, we all will feel better. We all will feel this, a good sense of belonging to our organization, to our work. We will own it as well, and we will feel better. And so now, as you have seen, what are the characteristics which are making mindset as agile mindset, and what are the certain benefits, and which are like so true as well, and we can implement them because they are easy, and it's all about that if you are going to develop the habits, so it will lead you towards a better way of work as well. So now we can see that, all right, as an individual, what we can do, but when it comes to organizational or agility at organization level, so we can see there are certain ways and how we can do it. So first of all, it's all about walk the agile talk. It's not only that, all right, we are talking about something and we are just discussing it, but it's all about start living it. As Simon Sinek has said, that if you want to start something in your life, then it's not about what is the right time or when you should start working on it. You should start working it right now, because it's all about when you are clear what you want to do. So then you should start working on it and see where do you go in your life ahead. So it's not about that, all right, we are only talking about it, but we should start living it as well. And for that, every little step is going to matter. So at organization level, what you can do, that you can encourage people for their efforts. And why I'm focusing on this point, because it's all about that. Yes, as I earlier talked about that, all right, you can take risks, there would be failures maybe, and you can see them as lesson learned. But it's all about that at workplace, you can only take a risk, which is calculated one, and where your team agrees with you, where your management is also on board, and where no one is going to basically affect your performance based on those failures, but they are going to see it as a progress. So it's all about that. We all should, especially at the management level, that we should encourage people for their effort, what all good things they are trying, and they are trying to improve and basically to learn new things. So we should encourage them and empower them as well, so that they feel confident and they are not being afraid of anything, that what if I'm being failed or it doesn't work, so what will be the impact on my performance. So to certain level, again, as related to taking a informed risk or calculated risk, it's all about that when you are encouraging. So you should also see that what is the level of the risk you are taking as well, and then you can see the progress. And as I earlier mentioned that, all right, every little effort or every little habit will count towards your success. So it's all about that. Even small accomplishment will matter as well. So if someone has tried new thing and it is successful, so yes, appreciate them, please. And eventually, when there are all little accomplishments are there, small steps are there, and they are working well, that person will be more motivated, more confident, and willing to try new things. It will make him more creative as well. So it's all about that, how you are encouraging each other and appreciating each other. And it's not only about the responsibility of the management, we all can do it. As I earlier mentioned that, all right, when I feel that I should contribute back to my society, So it's that way that whatever we are learning, we can share with each other. Maybe there is some person in your organization who is having good exposure, knowledge, or like practical experience about agility. So he can share it with you, or maybe you can even go and like ask them to basically guide you. And I already mentioned that, yes, every new adaptive habit will count. So it's all about that, yes, and it's not only about a new habit, but when you are going through a transformation, so it's all about changing the old habits, or maybe to keep them aside for a while and start making new habits. Because here the concept is basically when you are ready to learn, so it's all about learn, unlearn, and relearn as well. And yes, what can keep you motivated and to make you ready for the hard work? It's your passion. And if you want to basically introduce and foster agile culture across your organization, so you should give the trainings as well, you should take trainings as well, and you should keep working hard. And above all, you should be like having passion and the focus. Like, because everything which you are doing, if it has a purpose and which is aligned with your personal goals, and it should be your personal goal as well, so then it is going to work well. You will be owning the changes, and you will feel better when you are working into that environment. And yes, something which I have already talked about 4 times, and now it is, overall, we all should be focusing from being good to getting better. And yeah, so what you can do, that you can connect and coach and empower each other, which I have already covered, that how you can do it overall. So because it's all about supporting each other, helping each other, and trusting each other as well, and giving the opportunity. So we all should basically foster a continuous learning culture, because yes, the change is only constant, and we all should keep learning every new thing or new technology or whatsoever going in this world, which can make us successful, and where we can like be better as a person or as an individual, and where we can compete in the market as well. So we all should be focusing on continuous learning. It should never stop. So it's not only that when you are going through a change, so that time you are into a learning phase, and once that change is being implemented, so the learning is being stopped. But you should keep continue it as well. And overall, whenever you're going through a transformation journey, it can be in any industry, it can be anywhere, it can be in your own personal life even. So it's all about focus on progress, not the perfection. Because whenever we are going through some changes, so it's not about that. Whatever we whatever we desired about or dreamt about, we will exactly reach to that level very quickly. But it can take time, and then we can see that, all right, we are on the right track. That is what matters the most. That when you have decided something and you are working on it, so then it's the progress which will matter, and not the perfection. So yes, stay focused about it. And whenever the changes are going on, and especially when we talk about agility, so it's all about that, build a feedback loop. And now you can relate this feedback loop in our own work as well, that where we are taking the customer feedback whenever we are delivering some work to them, and we can basically adjust according to that feedback. So this feedback loop should be there, so that we all can see that, all right, where we were standing earlier, and now what is the progress, and right now what is the situation, and where do we stand right now. And yes, maybe there will be the things, because you will start with some goal, and you will decide that what is the destination of that goal. So you can see that as per the feedback, you can adjust. So be ready to learn and adjust along your agile journey. And now when it comes to this change management overall, and while we are focusing on living the agile culture and implementing it as well. So the most important thing is that you stay committed to the change. So that is the key here about how you can live agility. So it's all about that. Stay committed. Maybe it will be challenging. Definitely, there are always some challenges, and it is not an easy journey for certain changes. So stay committed to that. And yes, now I would like to almost conclude my talk here. And here I'm going to use this basically quote. It is a book title as well by Professor Nathan Fur, who is a professor at INSEAD in Singapore. And he has written a book overall. And yes, he is a guru in innovation topic and entrepreneurship as well. So as since we have been talking about agile mindset, so it's all about like taking little steps, and every little accomplishment is going to matter. So it's all about first you start working on it and focusing on the progress, and then you can see the results. So the overall hallmark of this talk is that first you nail it and then you scale it. So we all can start by living agile mindset individually. And when every individual within one organization is living the agile mindset, so overall the organization will be turning into an organization which is having agile mindset. And definitely because, whenever it comes to changing the culture of any organization or culture anywhere, so please remember that the culture changes cannot be done overnight, but they are being done over time, always. So thank you so much, everyone, and for listening. And yes, I think now I can pause here before moving to the next slide, and we can take the questions as well.
Okay, great, Maria. That's very knowledgeable. So any questions from the participants? Please feel free to ask. So in the meantime, just a reminder that our next session is on Flow Matrix, and it will be on 23rd of January by Zishan Amjad. So just have a reminder in your calendars.
Oh, all right, that's interesting. And Zishan is the one who is right now here with us as well, right?
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah, that's great. So are we having any questions? And maybe you people can talk about the organizations where you are working. Are you following agile, or you are following the traditional way of work? So maybe you can talk about it as well. And if you are having any questions about it. Okay, it seems like maybe we're not having any questions. And yes, then I can just talk about, yeah, I can share my details here. Dushan, just give me a moment, please.
So Madhya, there are questions about the copy of the slides. So can you just let us know, like, what is your plan?
All right, yes, I will putting it on box folder, and then I will share the link. That is what we can do. And yes, I will request everyone that my LinkedIn ID is here, my email ID is here, and the feedback I will be requesting from everyone about my talk. This is a SurveyMonkey website link where you can just go and click on it, and it's like very easy and simple, 5 questions, 5 to 6. So either you can fill first 5 questions, or if you want to skip that rating, so you can just make a comment in the last question on the survey. And yes, I'm also going to share the book, because I believe everyone can learn or read a book. So my talk basically, yes, it's like I can say that it is being inspired with this growth mindset concept. But while agile mindset concept is, overall in a different domain, but you all can read this book, and it is very interesting. It is by Professor Carol Dweck, and maybe I can share, this name and everything with you people. And that's all from my side. And if still there are any questions, so we are ready to take that. Okay, so yeah, I've read this question. Yeah, from Sunny. That's Sunny, all right. You will be sharing it. And you can be on basically Pakistan Agile Scrum Exchange meetup page, or you can join us on Facebook or LinkedIn, and we are there. So you can contact with us as well. You can share your details. Thank you, Mr. Ikram. I hope I'm pronouncing your name perfectly. So Zishan, if we are all good, can we, should we close the session? What do you suggest?
Yes, so you already have shared your contact details, so that's good.
Yes.
So if there are no further questions, we can wrap up the session. So we will be looking forward to have you guys on 23rd of January, session with Zishan Amjad on flow metrics. So thank you very much for joining us.